Hi there, this is Adam from the Karma Frog 1 channel. As you can see, the fan is spinning down as I do a little video, as I sometimes do, to update the people that watch the channel as to what's going on, the directions we're going to be taking, and any sort of new information I have to impart. So the main thing I want to talk about is the future of the Adam Walks Around series that's been going on for 5 years, and it has a small but very devoted fan base of people. And it's gone through a lot of evolutions during its time, and I periodically think about whether I want to continue the show or not. And I've gone through the same sort of thought process this time as we hit the 50th episode and we hit a kind of a good stopping point with the show. So my intention had been to start season 6 this week, actually. I did film some stuff last year that I thought would be good for the show, including one purpose-built filming where I went to Tokyo. And when I got into the editing for that, I quickly realized that although there was some good stuff about it, it really wasn't strong enough to continue the run of really good shows that we've had with Adam Walks Around. We finished the last season really strong. Of the last 4 episodes, 3 of them were among the top 5 of all of the episodes of the series, so that's pretty good. I thought production-wise, the last string of episodes was really solid. And it's not like this newer episode was terrible. It just nothing really happened. And I want to talk about why it was and some of the problems that poses for the show, and then talk about how I've decided to move forward. One of the things I really wanted the show to do in the beginning was to show everyday interactions with local people here overseas where I live. One of my problems with travel shows and travel vlogs is they tend to be a little too focused on the person that's making them, and the people around them are just sort of stick figures in their glamorous life, like look at me at this beach and look at this native and how they're smiling, all this kind of stuff. And by making myself look a little humbler or dumber sometimes, and sort of ambushing people when I was out walking with the interactions I had with them, which I was having anyway. I didn't stage this for the show. It was part of my life over here in Asia, was just kind of walking around and making a point to have social interactions with local people on their level without me sort of coming in there like I am the foreigner on my amazing adventure or whatever, just kind of being a fool a little bit. And a lot of you have told me that that's what you really liked about the show when it started. And I did too, and there's 2 issues with that moving forward. One of which is, unfortunately, people just don't seem to want to watch that. I mean, I know some people do, and obviously some of you are watching this video, and I'm with you. I really liked that the show put the relationship between the visitor, myself in this case, and the local people on their turf on more even ground, or even putting the visitor at a disadvantage, but not in this kind of scary, oh, I'm in a foreign place, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to me, but more just like an everyday, oops, I goofed, I did something stupid, and now the locals are laughing at me. I think that's healthy, because I think it demystifies in a good way the sort of stereotype of the exotic person in an exotic place. I mean, these people have their own reasons for doing what they do, whether they're Balinese or Cambodians or whatever. Everybody's got their own lives, and the more you can deal with people on a one-on-one basis as fellow humans, I think the more good you do just for humanity, building bridges between people and showing how much we're all alike. But for some reason, this doesn't seem to resonate, whether it's the algorithms not wanting to reward this, or just maybe some sort of cultural arrogance on the part of the West, where people don't want to see a Westerner like myself sort of dealing with people in these cultures on a more even basis. I hope that's not what it is. But I do see that phenomenon here sometimes. You know, I've run into it with other people that live over here that are Westerners, where they really want to, the reason they're here is they really want to have a certain kind of relationship where they have control. So I prefer to think that's not what's going on, and that it's a more organic, subconscious thing. But when I changed the show to making it more about telling stories and topics, with the walking part of it and the cultural part of it being secondary, the views really went way up. And I have to say the production quality went way up also, because I was less dependent on, okay, I'm going to go outside and hope something happens. And so that gets me to what happened with this Japanese episode, which was to be episode 51. I went to Japan hoping something would happen, and it didn't. And one of the issues is culturally, the Japanese are very shy people. But also, we are entering an era where people, especially in the first world, but increasingly in developing countries as well, are becoming very conscious of their own privacy concerns. And so, whereas it might have been, you know, kind of cute for me to just kind of pop a video up and record something in real time, and people accepted it, and I was pretty good at doing that in a way that wasn't obvious, it's kind of rude now. And it's going to be increasingly difficult to do that kind of a show in an environment where 5 years on, we're all much more aware of the encroachments on our privacy that everyone having an iPhone has. And so the combination of those two factors going to Japan, even though I can speak Japanese rather well, the locals didn't want to talk on camera. It would have taken a lot more time than I had to get them comfortable with that. And there were a lot of restrictions on filming in public. So even though there's some very watchable parts of it, it wound up being kind of a nothing burger. And so what I've decided to do with this episode, which was to have been called 72 Hours Over Tokyo, is instead of leading off season 6 with it, because the show's been doing so well, I don't want to start it up again kind of with a whimper. I've decided that I'm going to edit it together. In fact, I already have edited it together and release it as a patron-only episode. Now, I'm always happy when people become patrons of the show, subscribers, contributors, of course, because it helps keep me going over here. It's part of my income, you know, and I take this seriously. But that's not why I'm doing it. If it helps increase that, that's great. But really, it's just because I think Adam Walks Around, if it's going to continue, I have to continue doing shows with broader themes that can grow the channel and that are up to the level of quality that the last 7 or 8 episodes have been, where anyone can just stumble on it and go, hey, this is pretty good. I don't need to know who this guy is or whatever. I would rather hold off and do a really, really good, solid, pretty high production value season debut. And happily, I did a lot of traveling in the Philippines last year, and I have some imagery that I didn't purpose built for a show, but I think it will make a much more compelling season debut than what I would have done. But in terms of what you got, for fans of the show, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are kind of disappointed because you want to see this. With being a patron or contributor or whatever you need to get the link, I'm not that fussy about it. You know, if you want to sign on and sign off or whatever you want to do, or even if you don't want to get into that and you're a fan of the show, and just find Adam Walks Around on Facebook, or find me if you know where to find me. Just shoot me an email. Go, hey man, I really want to see the Adam Walks Around, but I can't afford to be a patron. Fine, I'll send you the link, or I'll hook you up some other way. If you do want to become a patron or a contributor at any level, the information is going to be in the comment section. And you'll get the link to the Adam Walks Around bonus episode right away. And it's not terrible. It's fairly watchable actually, and I think fans of the show will enjoy it. I just don't. It's just nothing really happens. You know, we look around some parts of Tokyo and they're okay. You know, and I talk about some stuff and it's mildly interesting. There's a couple of funny spots. I mean, it's not like it's terrible, but I think it works much better as a high functioning bonus episode rather than something I want to start out a new season with. So the upshot of that is it's going to be a little longer for Adam Walks Around to come back, but I'm kind of excited about this because I do have kind of a vision for how I want to move the show forward. You guys have gotten used to the shows coming less frequently, but I think you'll agree that when they have come, you know, I put a lot of work into them, and they're worth seeing. And like I said, the views of the show have gone up quite a bit. I'd like to continue that. The channel's gotten to a point where we actually might, you know, be modestly successful. I got my first check from Google, which was kind of cool, you know, after about a year of being monetized. And it does form a part of my income that is important. It's not huge, but it's relevant, you know. So in terms of other things that might go on with the channel, I've got a couple other things in play. Of course, we're in the middle of the Pet Squares, Pet Sounds series. And I've been filming musical analysis portions of it. And that's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. And I have all the information I need to do the part 4, but another problem has come up is that my backup laptop, which I use sort of as my teleprompter, has died. So I have to go get that fixed, and hopefully it will be fixed. If not, I probably have to buy a new laptop. But that's probably going to delay things for another couple of weeks. There's a really interesting music video project, very different from what you've seen before, that has been kind of on a back burner, and I think that'll be coming up soon. So all this is to say, be patient with me, and for those of you that are patrons of the channel and been supporting what I do, and very generously, you will have this new Adam Walks Around episode. That's, you know, we'll keep things going for a little while longer. It'll be up probably within 24 hours of you watching this video. And like I said, anybody who's a fan of the show that wants to see it, if you can't swing $1 a month for Patreon or whatever minimal contribution you want to throw in, but you really want to see it, just reach out to me somehow and I'll hook you up. It's not that big a deal. That's all for now. I've got some ideas for the channel, but the basic thing is, you know, I am performing pretty actively again. So what's happening is, if I have a lot of shows, it gets harder for me to put the time in, and then if I have some downtime like I do now, it gets easier. So, but I think it's better to do fewer videos really well than just to spew out a lot of stuff, unless I think of a concept that I can spew out that's really interesting, you know. And I'm always open to ideas for the channel. So I encourage you to, as always, give me your input in comments about things that you would like to see. And in the meantime, just thanks for your patience. And for those of you that are patrons or contributors, I'm going to try to also include past contributors to the show, people that are no longer subscribers or members, but still, you know, support the channel before. I'm going to try to seek you guys out. But again, there will be this bonus episode of Adam Walks Around. By the way, I'm sorry, I meant to say this earlier. I like this concept because there is a lot of sort of B-roll for Adam Walks Around, particularly for the stuff I shot in the Philippines last year. Like, I'm pretty sure I can get 1 or 2 really good episodes out of what I shot in the Philippines. And then there's a lot of other stuff that might not be good enough for a whole episode, but might be interesting to a lot of you. And so I might, both to encourage more patronage, but also to reward the people that support the channel, because I haven't done that much patron-only content. I might start doing these bonus episodes more regularly that are not as labor-intensive, but still interesting. You know, if you just want to go on a walk with me some exotic place and you don't care if something that dramatic happens, you know, I can do more of these bonus episodes, and I think I probably will. I like that idea of like doing a couple of really strong Adam Walks Around episodes that have a bigger appeal. And then for those of you that like the sort of the small scale, like the old school episodes, do these bonus episodes and release them kind of privately. So that's, I think, the direction I'm going to go in. But anyway, I'm hitting the 15-minute mark of rambling on as I do, so I'm going to let it go. But again, thank you all for your patience, and you'll be seeing new stuff very soon. And for those of you that are patrons of the show, you'll be seeing stuff imminently. Okay, thanks.